We've committed to net zero, which means, in theory, by 2050 we won't overall put carbon into the atmosphere as we try to stop the worst impacts of human-induced climate change. Beyond reducing emissions, Australian businesses use schemes taking carbon out of the atmosphere and offset that against their pollution. These so-called carbon credits are controversial, partly because they're a green light to keep emitting pollution, but also due to revelations uncovered by ABC reporters that many of the schemes lack integrity, some of them literally taxpayer money for hot air. An official inquiry today called on the federal government to improve governance, transparency and confidence in the integrity of the schemes, and the government said it will. Good news for what will become a substantial industry. Bad news for shonks. US markets up more than 2%, wildly bouncing around since the start of the year, while trading in the Aussie dollar lifted it to near 70 US cents. Will it break through? It's not up to me, so best you tune in tomorrow. And the value of precious metals rising, generally a sign that investors are worried about the economy. On our market, our All Ordinaries Index lifted, valuing our 500 biggest companies 0.6% more valuable than it did yesterday. And there's been a historically steep drop in property prices, down 8.5% since May, when the Reserve Bank raised interest rates for the first time in more than 11 years. But don't get too excited about bargains. That slump comes after the fastest rise in history, almost 30% in 2 years. Even after these falls, dwellings are still much more expensive than they were 5 or 10 years ago. We don't have enough houses for our population, and approvals for new buildings are down 15% from a year ago. And that's finance.